And joining me right now, we have Democratic Congresswoman from Pennsylvania, our friend Madeleine Dean, sitting in her kitchen as usual, I believe, where it's much quieter than it was for poor Allie.
I got home.
No, that's fine. Even if a dog barks, it's fine. So we have the bipartisan agreement on a government funding bill, which was torpedoed after a series of disparaging posts from billionaire Elon Musk on his own social media platform. Luckily, a government shutdown was averted just in time. But how do you explain to Americans what happened here?
Well, what I explained to Americans is that Democrats stood strong, united, for the purpose of what is in the best interest of Americans, of working people, of people who just want to do better for their families, for their farms, for their futures. What we saw, the theatrics that we saw this week, were really cynical and corrosive. Could you imagine? This was a deal that was negotiated, all four sides, Republicans and Democrats. Neither side got everything that it wanted, that we wanted, that they wanted. Mm-hmm. It was a negotiated deal in good faith, blown up, literally blown up overnight by Elon Musk, and then following him, the president-elect. So Elon Musk is not elected to anything. He's just reaping the benefits of this election cycle. His net wealth has doubled since Election Day, from $250 billion to almost 700 billion dollars. So what I would say to the American people is it's very sad. This is not the way it's supposed to work. Article 1 of the Constitution gives Congress the power of the purse. It is our responsibility. And yet the Speaker of the House and the majority, Republicans are in control here. They write the bills, they put the bills on the floor, were unable over the course of the last 6 months to pass the 12 appropriations bills that would fund our government. And we were stuck in this crisis of their own making. The Speaker, Musk, and Trump created a crisis. We averted it. Democrats averted it for the American people.
I want to pick up on something that you said there. You talked about Elon Musk putting out voluminous tweets, right? He was talking about things. And then Donald Trump followed up. What do you know about the dynamic there? Elon Musk leading, Trump following. Are you hearing anything about that?
Let me be very clear. I'm not friends with Elon or the president-elect.
Not suggesting, but you have colleagues on the other side of the aisle. Are you hearing from them?
We know that it will certainly is or will be under President-elect Trump's skin that Musk got out ahead of him and blew this thing up, and then the president-elect threw in the debt ceiling. I want to be clear about the debt ceiling. And to answer your question, this friendship, I don't think is long for this world. Mr. Trump likes to be in the spotlight. He doesn't want somebody else to be in the greater spotlight. But let's talk about that throwing in of a 2-year extension of or just elimination of a debt ceiling. The debt ceiling is about paying for the bills that we have already incurred. This was a perversion, yet again, a perversion by Mr. Trump, an attempt to say, give me carte blanche to offer huge tax cuts, continuing tax cuts to the wealthy, like Mr. Musk, so that I don't have to worry about the debt and deficit. Irresponsible. Democrats wouldn't stand for it. We're not going to just give out tax cuts at the cost of our financial fidelity. The Republican Party constantly talks about being the party that cares about debt and deficits. And yet it is Mr. Trump who blew up the deficit last time around with $2.3 trillion worth of tax cuts to the wealthiest. And he wants to do it again. Again, I hope that people take away, we made a mistake in this election by electing Mr. Trump. And thank God we have Democrats who will prepare and serve as whatever guardrails we can possibly be.
Well, Speaker Johnson says that Trump had his back on the continuing resolution. He has been noticeably silent about the vote after 170 House Republicans supported that bill, even though it stripped out the provision suspending the debt limit that Trump demanded. Does that signal anything to you about Trump's political capital? Do you think it's waning a bit?
I don't know, but I do think it's interesting. You saw on the first bill that was put on the floor after the failure to put forward the agreed upon language, 38 Republicans said no. And then in the bill that we did pass late last evening, 34 Republicans said no, to a unanimous Democratic caucus who said, no, we must fund the government. It does not work for the American people when the government gets shut down. What I think is that is telling. It's telling of something. There is a break from Mr. Trump that is brewing in the Republican majority. And remember, when we come back, the majority is going to be 2 seats, 2 votes. And so I think Mr. Trump and Mr. Musk are in for an interesting ride. Sadly, the American people are too. We should never have been in this position. You don't turn your term paper in one day before Christmas. This is funding the United States government. This is paying federal workers. It's irresponsible and extraordinarily reckless.
Can I ask you quickly about the speaker vote 2 weeks away? How do you think it goes down? Does he stay as speaker, Mike Johnson?
I don't know. I know he's going to be gravely challenged, in part because of the very slim majority that his party holds. But the other reason is take a look at these last 2 years of the 118th Congress. They have failed to govern. Effectively, you've seen it time after time, Democrats have governed to avert a shutdown, to make sure that the American people can move forward, to be sure that supplemental bills for disaster, imagine that, hurricane disasters, make sure we fund those things. For the Francis Scott Key Bridge, the things that we do as Democrats matter. And you'll see a very unified set of votes around Hakeem Jeffries. I have to tell you, his leadership has been extraordinary, along with Catherine Clark and Pete Aguilar and Ted Lieu. But the Speaker faces a huge challenge. He already knows he has several votes against him. I don't know how he succeeds and becomes Speaker, especially after the bungling of this week.
I guess we'll find out January 3rd. Congressman Madeleine Dean, thank you so much. Good to see you.